In this demo, we're going to talk about how to capture user credentials from a web page. While there are many different methods for gaining unauthorized access to a user's web account, we're going to do it by cloning a website sign-in page and directing the user to enter the information on a fake page. To fool a user into going to our cloned sign-in page, we would create a phishing email and send it to them. But in this demo, we're just going to cover cloning. To do this, we will use one of the many exploits provided by the Social Engineering Toolkit. Because this is a demo, we're going to use a fake website. I'll enter the credentials myself to show how the tool works. First, we need to find a website that we would like to attack. But since we'll only be cloning one page of the site, we need to know what the full URL is for the login page. Let's go to www.fakewebsite.com. This is a WordPress site, which makes our life a little easier, since the login page name is almost always the same. To make sure, though, we'll click the login button on the page and see where it takes us. I'll scroll down here and click Login. Now that we're on the login page, we can look in the address field and see the full URL of the exact page we want to clone. Since we'll need this URL later, we're going to copy it. Now that we have the page we want to clone, let's open up the Social Engineering Toolkit. Since it's a command line app, we'll be working in the terminal. Once the terminal opens, I'll type in SE Toolkit and press Enter. On this screen, you can see that there are two attack options: social engineering attacks and penetration testing. If you add extra attacks made by others, they'll appear under third-party modules. The remaining options are for maintaining the Social Engineering Toolkit. The option that we're looking for can be found under Social Engineering Attacks. So, I'll select number 1 and press Enter. We're interested in cloning a website, so we'll select option 2, Website Attack Vectors. To get to the clone option from here, we'll select number 3, Credential Harvester Attack Method, and then select number 2, Site Cloner. Since we'll be using this machine to host the clone page and listen for credentials, we can leave the default options. I'll just press Enter to continue. Next, we'll use Ctrl-Shift-V to paste the URL we copied earlier and press Enter again. Now the Social Engineering Toolkit is saying, "Hey, do you understand what you're saying here?" Yes, I do. It also offers a couple of troubleshooting instructions in case the tool isn't working. Since we expect it to work, we'll just press Enter to continue. Now we're finally at the page that will show us if the tool sees anything interesting. Earlier, I set up a website with a name that's just a little different from the name of the website we're cloning. This is the page that you would send to someone to trick them into opening it. It's basically the same address but with the number 1 at the end. Let's go to that page in our web browser. I'm going to keep the terminal open on the side and open the web browser on the other side of the screen so you can see the tool working. I'll do that by opening Firefox and navigating to www.fakewebsite1.com. You can see that when I navigated to the clone web page, something happened over to the right in the tool. It printed some information to the screen. This just shows that a connection request was served to the requesting computer. Now let's see what happens if I put in some user credentials. I'll type in admin for the user and let me in for the password. Press Enter to log in. And there we go. In the terminal, you can see some information from the tool. Note that the tool tries to guess what information is important. This time, it correctly identified the password field, but didn't find a username field. That's because WordPress username fields have kind of ambiguous names. But that didn't get in our way. This information was caught, as you can see right over here. It's worth noting that after an attempted authentication, the Social Engineering Toolkit actually redirected us to the real website. This means that typically a user would likely just assume that they had entered their credentials incorrectly and try again. They probably wouldn't suspect a thing. And that's it for this demo. We discussed how to use the site cloner in the Social Engineering Toolkit, and we saw how you, or anyone, can clone a website's look and feel and trick users into entering their credentials on a fake website.